Every time you ask ChatGPT a question, you're drinking water, not you directly, but somewhere in a massive data center, a machine is guzzling water to answer you. How much water? A single ChatGPT conversation uses half a liter of water. That's a bottle. One question, one bottle. Now imagine, 100 million people use ChatGPT every day. That's 100 million bottles of water, every single day, just for ChatGPT. But ChatGPT isn't alone. Google's AI, 5.6 billion liters per year. Microsoft, 6.4 billion liters. Meta, Amazon, all building massive AI data centers, all drinking water. And they're building them in the worst possible places. Arizona, where the state is running out of water. Oregon, where residents are complaining about water pressure. Ireland, where the government is rationing water. Tech giants are sucking up billions of liters for AI. While people go thirsty, this is the hidden cost nobody's talking about. And it's about to get much worse. Let me explain. Data centers are massive buildings filled with servers. Thousands of servers running 24/7, processing every Google search, every Netflix video, every email, every AI question. And servers generate heat. Massive amounts of heat. If they overheat, they shut down. So data centers need cool, and the best way to cool them? Water. Lots of water. Water-based cooling systems pump thousands of liters through the facility every hour, absorbing heat, evaporating, gone. That water doesn't get recycled, it evaporates into the air, lost forever. A typical data center uses 3 to 5 million liters of water per day. That's the same as a city of 30,000 people. One building, 30,000 people's worth of water. Now here's the problem. AI requires 10 times more computing power than regular internet use. Training ChatGPT-4 required months of processing on thousands of servers. Every time you ask ChatGPT a complex question, it uses multiple servers to answer. More servers equals more heat equals more water. And AI is exploding. ChatGPT launched in November 2022. Within 6 months, 100 million users, fastest growing product in history. Google panicked, released Bard, Microsoft panicked, integrated AI into everything. Meta, Amazon, every tech company building AI, all of them building new data centers, bigger data centers, more servers, more water. By 2030, data centers are projected to use as much water as the entire country of Denmark, just for cooling. And tech companies are choosing the worst possible locations. Let me show you. Mesa, Arizona. Desert state. 20-year megadrought. Residents on water restrictions. Can't water lawns, can't fill pools. Google built a massive data center there. Uses 5.2 million liters per day. The city sold them water rights for almost nothing. Google pays less for water than residents do. Meanwhile, Arizona farmers are going bankrupt, wells running dry, crops dying. But Google's AI, running perfectly, cooled with water that should have gone to farms. The Dallas, Oregon. Small city, 15,000 people. Google built their first major data center there in 2006. Promised jobs, economic growth. What they didn't mention, water usage. Google uses 1.1 billion liters per year in the Dallas. That's more water than the entire city uses. Residents complain about low water pressure. Google's contract with the city is secret. The public doesn't know how much they're paying, or how much water they're really using. Dublin, Ireland. Country in drought. Government asking residents to conserve water. Microsoft built a massive data center in 2009. Now it uses 25% of the city's water supply. 25%. For one building. Irish residents pay some of the highest water bills in Europe. Microsoft pays a fraction of that rate. Because they negotiated a bulk deal. Santiago, Chile. Google Data Center. Built in a region with indigenous communities. Communities that have been farming for centuries. Now their wells are running dry. Because Google diverted water rights. Local activists protested. Google said the data center brings economic development. The indigenous farmers said, we can't drink economic development. And this is just the beginning. Because AI is about to explode, OpenAI is building GPT-5, requires even more computing power. Google is upgrading Gemini, Anthropic, Meta, Amazon, all scaling up. Every company in the world wants AI, which means every company needs data centers. Projections say we'll build 10 times more data centers by 2030 than exist today. 10 times. That's 10 times more water usage. And tech companies are running out of good locations. The ideal data center location needs 3 things: cheap electricity, cool climate to reduce cooling costs, lots of available water. The best locations already taken: Iceland, Norway, Sweden, cold climates, lots of water, perfect. But small countries, limited space, can't fit the world's AI, so companies are building in less ideal locations and using more water to compensate. Arizona, Nevada, Texas, desert states with cheap land and weak environmental laws, but no water, so they're draining aquifers, groundwater that took thousands of years to accumulate, being pumped dry in decades. For AI, here's what makes this worse. Tech companies hide their water usage. Google publishes an environmental report every year. It mentions water, but the numbers are vague. Replenished more water than we consumed. What does that mean? Replenished where? How? They fund water conservation projects in other regions. Plant trees. Restore wetlands. Great, but that doesn't help Arizona farmers whose wells are dry. Microsoft is worse. Their water usage is classified as a trade secret. They refuse to disclose exact numbers, even to local governments. Cities sign contracts with confidentiality clauses. Residents can't know how much water tech companies use. Amazon is the worst. Largest cloud provider in the world. Oz runs more data centers than anyone. Zero transparency. No public reporting. No environmental impact studies. Nothing. They just build and take water. And governments let them. Because cities want tech jobs, want to be seen as innovation hubs. So they give tax breaks, sell water rights cheap, don't ask questions. Arizona gave tax breaks worth hundreds of millions to attract data centers, while telling residents to ration water. Oregon exempted data centers from property taxes. While schools are underfunded, Ireland gave Microsoft free water for years, while raising rates on residents. The trade-off is clear: jobs for some, water for tech. But who's paying the price? Not tech CEOs, not shareholders, farmers, indigenous communities, regular people, people who've lived there for generations, watching their water disappear. So corporations can run AI. So you can ask ChatGPT to write an email. Now here's the conspiracy. You don't know about this because tech companies don't want you to know. Media doesn't cover it because tech companies advertise heavily. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, biggest advertisers in the world. News organizations don't want to upset them. Politicians don't regulate because tech companies lobby heavily. Millions spent on lobbying. Donations to campaigns. Revolving door between tech and government. So nothing changes. You keep using AI, thinking it's free, thinking it's just electricity and computers, never realizing every question, every image generation, every AI conversation costs water, someone else's water, and it's accelerating. Because now it's not just tech companies. Every industry wants AI. Healthcare, finance, manufacturing, retail, every company building private AI, which means private data centers, or renting from Google, Microsoft, Amazon. Either way, more servers, more water. By 2027, AI data centers could use more water than the entire agricultural sector in some states. Think about that. Farms, food production, the thing humans need to survive, will use less water than AI. Because we wanted chatbots. So what's the solution? Tech companies say, we're working on it, developing air cooling, more efficient systems. Google says they'll be water positive by 2030. Microsoft says they'll be water neutral. Great promises, But right now, today, they're using billions of liters and building more data centers in deserts. The other solution? Move data centers to better locations, cold climates, near oceans, where water is abundant. Some companies are doing this. Microsoft built underwater data centers. Google is expanding in Scandinavia. But it's not enough. Most data centers are still in water-stressed areas because it's cheaper, because regulations are weak, because they can. The real solution? Transparency. Force companies to disclose water usage publicly so communities can make informed decisions. Do you want a data center that uses 1 billion liters per year? Or do you want that water for farms, for drinking, for your future? Let the people decide, not backroom deals with confidentiality clauses. And maybe, just maybe, we need to ask, is AI worth it? Is a chatbot worth draining aquifers? Is image generation worth farmers losing their livelihoods? Is convenience worth someone else's water? I don't have the answer, but I do know this. Right now, we're trading water for AI, and nobody told us that was the deal. Tech companies didn't ask permission, they just took the water and called it innovation. So the next time you ask ChatGPT to write something for you, or generate an image, or search with Google AI, remember, somewhere a server is drinking water. Water that could have gone to a family, a farmer, a community, water that's evaporating into the air. Gone forever. For your convenience. Is it worth it? This is what keeps it running. The infrastructure keeping our world connected. And the hidden costs we never see. Subscribe if you want to understand what really keeps the world running.